Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Walmart out in Mckinney, Texas. As always, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me directly. Send me a direct message if you have any questions about some of the plants that I feature on my plant shopping videos. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome, my name is Richie, and I will be showing you some more of these Walmart plants. I know that I featured this Walmart not too long ago, but I did want to go feature these plants again and just show you any restocks or give you some more insights about specific plants that you will be finding at Walmart. As you already know, Walmart's, at least in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is where I am based at, have been getting a lot of plant restocks, mostly Costa Farms trending tropical plants. Like you can see right from the get-go, we've got a begonia maculata for $19.84, and you can see that these are fairly large size begonia maculatas. I love the maroon undersides of the leaves and then the polka dot leaves as well. Now, as far as these begonias, these angel wing type begonias, I feel like these begonias are a little bit more easy to care for plants versus like the Rex begonias. And then we also have these green plants like this Monstera Peru for $19.84. And for those that tune into my plant shopping videos, I am just really excited to see that so many new plant foldies have been joining the live premiere chats. I've seen a lot of people actually commenting in the comment section. And again, if you are a person that loves plants but also loves that interactive experience with other plant lovers, then this is the plant shopping YouTube channel you need to be on, just because we do have those daily live premiere chats, as well as lots of commentary in the comment section. So feel free to share any plant insights, plant commentary, plant finds, anything plant related. I love that. And just know that on the Grow Folds Plant Foldy community, everybody is welcome. I love the positive community we have, and it's just been really nice to get to know a lot of you guys. So as I pick up plants and just show you all of the different types of plants that you'll find at Walmart, I also want to just give you personal insights about what's been going on with my life, what I am planning to do this new year. You know, I can't believe that we're about to go ahead and get into the second week of the new year. You know, 2025 for me is all about plants, but mostly all about downsizing plants and also getting a more curated approach to my personal plant collection. I mean, you can see right here, this is a plant I would actually add into my plant collection. This is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. It is a plant that used to be highly sought after. I feel like not a lot of people talk about Rhaphidophora tetraspermas, and you already know, if you are on the Grow Folds YouTube channel, you will always find a gorgeous Aglaonema. This one is an Aglaonema spring snow, or I think that's what it is. This is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant. And as far as Costa Farms, I am just really thankful that Costa Farms has made more uncommon Aglaonema readily available. You know, to get the more colorful versions of Aglaonema, the more uncommon versions, you would need to go ahead and get Aglaonema from overseas. And for me, I would consider myself an Aglaonema collector. I have more than 40 different varieties of Aglaonema. You know, I am part of this plant podcast show called The Cultivation Corner, and that also features my friends Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. We talk about all things plant related. One common denominator that all three of us love is the fact that we love Aglaonemas. Now, as far as Aglaonemas, again, these are easy to care for plants. They are low light tolerant. They are mostly drought tolerant, and they're just readily available at big box stores. I am happy to be able to see something like this, where it is a little bit more uncommon to find at a store like Walmart. So I'm hoping that Costa Farms this year will actually release even more varieties of Aglaonema. The thing about Aglaonema is in order to really reproduce them or get the numbers to sell them at a big box store or even a local nursery, it does take quite a bit of time to grow them out because aglaonemas are pretty slow growing plants. Now, as far as like an easy to care for plant, again, this one is for $15.97. This is a ZZ plant. ZZ plants are probably the easiest house plant you could add into your plant collection. So I have been talking a lot about like basic plants. I wouldn't even say basic plants. I would just say that plants that don't give you a lot of headaches. Their care is very easy. ZZ plants are one of them. Now, as far as another plant that I'm picking up right now, this is a sago palm. And as far as the sago palm, I haven't really added that into my indoor space. I know that when I was growing up, my parents and I actually planted a sago palm in our yard, and it got extremely large. The thing about sago palm is you need to give it a lot of light. Palms in general typically require a lot of bright light. So that's something that I wouldn't really add into my plant collection. You know, as far as palms, they're not really plants that really pique my interest. Plants that really pique my interest are obviously aglaonema and just plants that have really interesting foliage. Like this one right here is in a self-watering planter. We've featured this before in a video. These are the Calathea orbifolias. These orbifolia calathea are so stunning. I mean, you can see how beautiful the leaves are. Don't let these leaves fool you, plant foldies. Calathea are the biggest heartbreakers. They are the biggest teases when it comes to, I guess, getting you to buy them and bring them into your space. For me, calatheas are just a very challenging plant. It is a plant that unfortunately I haven't been able to grow long term just because maybe I just don't have the right conditions for my space to grow them successfully long term. Like I'd love to grow a Calathea orbifolia. I've even tried to grow these in straight hydroponics, which is just growing them in water. I've also tried to grow them in semi-hydroponics using lechuza pond, and none of my Calathea seem to do well. What'll happen is I'll buy something as gorgeous as this in a big box for like Walmart for $15.97, but then after like week 2 or 3, you'll see that the leaves start to crisp and brown. So that's a plant that I'm just really not going to add into my plant collection. Now, as far as Epipremnum aureum global green pothos, what I love about the global green pothos is obviously the green on green variegation, but also pothos plants in general are very easy to care for plants. Now, this particular pothos plant, which is actually an original Japanese pothos, it's not as drought tolerant as some of the other pothos that you'll run into, like the golden pothos, the marble queen pothos, and the neon pothos. Those larger foliage pothos tend to be a little bit more forgiving if you don't water them. Now, the global green pothos, it definitely needs a little bit more water than the typical pothos. I love the pink planters, the self-watering planters that Casa Farms has released. This one is a Philodendron Birkins, and this one is also for $15.97. Now, I have a Philodendron Birkins in my plant collection. I ended up getting it as a H2O Leaf Joy bowl by Proven Winners. So it's literally growing in a bowl of water, and it's done very well for me. So as far as the Philodendron Birkins, super easy. And as I pan away here, you can see that I am just visiting this Walmart during the day. This is actually right before they actually released a lot of the Monstera Thai Constellation. So for those that have already watched the video where I featured the Monstera Thai Constellations, this was a couple of days beforehand, so I'm kind of out of cycle in terms of the actual plant shopping videos. You know, with the winter storm that hit North Dallas, things have been just a little hectic for me, specifically with work, and then also just being able to get out there and film plant content. I do have several plants videos that have already been filmed, so I should be able to get you guys some daily plant content again. Like I said, for those that haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. I have created some other plant content, and if you want to chat with other plant lovers like yourself, definitely join the live premiere chats. Typically, I premiere my live premiere chats at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, sometimes 7:30, sometimes 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. But either way, if you happen to get on on a live premiere chat, that is when it is the most fun, just because we have a lot of loyal plant foldies that are consistently on the live chats. And for me, watching some of the other plant YouTubers out there, I'm not 100% sure if there's people out there that actually get on live premiere chats during a live premiere. So plant foldies, I do ask, if you watch other plant content on YouTube, let me know if there's other plant content creators that actually have live chats, because for me, that is part of my niche in terms of just growing this community, is the interactive part. I love the fact that I can show you plants like the Raven ZZ plant, but then I can freely talk about plants. I can freely talk about what's going on in my personal space, what's going on in my daily lives, anything that I'm super excited about. I'm able to utilize this social platform to really talk about that. But as far as the plants, the things I will say about my personal plant collection, in the last 2 weeks, I have been really excited at the fact that my plant collection has finally been more organized. I've been able to enjoy plants a little bit more so, because I don't feel as overwhelmed with my plant collection versus when I was really going out there and just buying pretty much any plant that I would pick up. I mean, clearly the plants that I've just picked up, the global green pothos, the Raven ZZ, I own those plants, but I would end up just buying multiples of those. And that's what happens with plant shopping, is you can go to a store like Walmart, right, and take a look at something like this Monstera Stadliana. I want to get another Monstera Stadliana just because, number one, $19.84 for a self-watering planter, a Costa Farms trending tropical plant. It's got a pretty good price, and I just like the look of the plant. Same thing with the Philodendron White Knight. Even though I already have a Philodendron White Knight, I just like the look of it, and that's the thing about going plant shopping, or just shopping in general. You catch yourself wanting to buy plants or just buy things on an impulse buy, and that's not always the most healthiest way to go about acquiring plants. And that's something that I want to be a little bit more transparent about as I pan away from all of these plants, to show you that while spring is not here yet, it looks like a lot of the big box stores like Walmart are already starting to restock their plants. If you look at the very left, you can see that that section was actually filled up with a lot of Monstera Thai Constellations, a lot of rare and uncommon Philodendrons by Growers Bench. And so that's really the precursor of what kind of plants we will see this coming spring. I mean, you got to think, in just about 8 weeks, we'll potentially see even more plants. I can't wait to see a lot of the coleus plants, for instance, because last year I had a coleus addiction where literally I was buying every single coleus plant I could possibly get. Obviously, I went overboard with it because with the winter storm, I had a lot of my coleus plants just go to plant heaven, because truthfully, I don't have enough space to overwinter these plants. So again, as far as like some of the changes I'm going about with my plant collection for this year is, number one, I am just going to have like a specific type of plant that I'm going to collect, which would be Aglaonema. And then number two, just really curating my plant collection and really having that beautiful stylistic approach about it. For those that actually have been following the news, I did want to say it is super tragic to see that the LA fires have really destroyed a lot of homes. I did want to just make some commentary about a YouTuber, plant content creator, interior design content creator, Benji Plants. I am heartbroken for him and his partner in the fact that their beautiful home was burned to pieces. It was part of the LA fires that are still not contained. So like my prayers and go out to him. And I noticed that even with such a strong plant community, there's still just that tragedy around just losing all of that. And like I said again, even just seeing that story, seeing all of the things that have happened with the LA fires, and even seeing somebody that I really love watching the plant content. A lot of my plant styling, a lot of my inspiration for like curated plants really stemmed with Benji Plants. So I don't know if you plant foldies watch Benji Plants, definitely check that out. And I also want to encourage any of the plant foldies to go to Benji Plants GoFundMe to help support rebuilding his collection or just helping him get through this rough time. Even though I've never really met Benji Plants, I do watch his plant content and his YouTube channel for several years, and I just feel like I was part of his journey in terms of how his plant styling evolved from just houseplant care to plant styling to curated plants. So I know I'm a little bit off topic in terms of just the big box store plant shopping, but hey, you still get to see me pick up plants. I did want to put that out there while it is still relevant and fresh, and it was really heartbreaking for me to watch the post video of him and his partner Chris actually looking at their home where nothing was pretty much salvageable. Everything was burnt to crisp, and it's just a reminder that yes, we have all of these plant collections, yes, we have these material things, but at the end of the day, all of that could go away. And for me, and I know that I'm going on a tangent a little bit, but for me, no matter how tough things could be, no matter how rough of a situation is, know that if we stay within our core and understand what's really important, and for me, it would be health, my family, my friends, my community, a shelter over my, a roof over me, then that would be just the things that I want to focus on. Sometimes we get so involved with the materialistic things that we have, and that would be including plants. Like, I mean, I'm looking at all of these plants right here at Walmart, for instance, but what happens if, say, there's a natural disaster where it just wipes it away? For me, I would definitely be devastated, but I just know that in the moment, we should always appreciate everything that happens in the moment. I think we oftentimes get a little bit, how do I say it? I get a little too mixed up with what's going to happen in the future, or more so less, we're not practicing mindfulness, where we're so involved with like trying to take care of all of these plants that we don't even just sit back and enjoy the moment and actually appreciate our plants. And I know that I am going on a little bit of a tangent, but even just seeing what happened to Benji Plants and just what happened to all the people in the LA fires, it was really just an eye opener. You know, for us out in Dallas, Texas, we had this winter storm. It was a little bit challenging for about 2 days, but we were able to move forward from that. And even with me, I did lose quite a bit of plants outside because I just didn't have the space. But you know, in hindsight, those plants can be replaced. And as I look at all of the plants, and as I've done a lot of these plant shopping videos, I don't get nearly as upset or as, I would say, frustrated if I'm not able to grow a plant, or if a plant goes to plant heaven, because there's so many other bigger things that are happening outside of my little bubble. And I just want to make sure that as we continue to grow this plant community, as we learn about plants, as I show you gorgeous plants like this Monstera Peru, we can utilize this space as a support system. Like, I love the fact that I have a plant foldy out in Houston, Bella. I know that she has been having a tough time, but just know that you can hop on the chat, you can share what's going on in your life, and then we all have a support system out here. So for the plant foldies, I did want to just say, while I have never met Benji Plants, his plant content has really inspired me over the years. And please definitely check out his GoFundMe. If you're able to donate, that would be amazing. I know that sometimes I will say that, you know, to support the channel here, maybe if you want to drop a super sticker or a super thanks just to help out with some of the funding for my personal channel, I would say if you have anything that you can possibly donate for their GoFundMe, I would really appreciate the plant foldies to come out there in full force and support Benji Plants. But anyways, let me go back to the actual plant shopping. And for those that have actually just discovered my channel, hopefully YouTube might have pushed this channel out. As you can see, I do a lot of personal plant commentary, even just personal insight, so you'll have to forgive me if I get a little bit overzealous about some of the commentary. But as you can see right here, if you saw the video of this Walmart, you will see that this actually is what the variegated prayer plants look like. These are actually when they first got shipped to this particular Walmart, and you can see these are for $5.77. And you know, I really practice a lot of restraint in terms of purchasing this plant, because because I actually have this plant right here. I was gifted this plant by another YouTuber by the name of Planting with Pete, and it is actually growing in Lechuza Pond, and it's actually been doing fairly well. As far as the variegated prayer plant, I mean, I love the look of it. I just love the fact that the leaves look like birds' feathers. As far as this plant, it's very similar to a calathea or a marantha or a stromanthe. They do require a little bit more frequency in terms of the watering. You never really want to let the soil dry out completely. You want to keep the soil moist. And if you're able to really increase the humidity levels between 60 to 65%, it will really thrive, as well as giving it a lot of bright indirect light. But as you can see right here, Costa Farms, $5.77 for this gorgeous plant. And I'm hoping that Costa Farms will release the Manjula pothos, because last year I regretted not purchasing them when they were actually offered as exotic angel plants for only $5.48. So if I see a Manjula pothos, that is definitely a plant that I'm gonna get. I mean, and for those that love pothos plants, leave in the comments which is your favorite pothos plant. I have pretty much decided that I love the neon pothos, but you know, as far as all of the different varieties of pothos, let me know what you think. And I did want to continue this discussion in the comment section. I want to know how you pronounce pothos plants. Do you pronounce them as pothos plants, pothos plants, or Epipremnum aureum? Please leave that in the comment section below. Would really love to see a full poll for all of our viewers. Now over here is a fat shadera, which is basically a cross between a Hydra helix and a Fatsa japonica, or a Japanese Aurelia. Now, the Hydra helix or the Hedera helix is an English ivy. So you'll have an English ivy crossed with a Japanese Aurelia, and that's the reason why it has the look of like an English ivy, but it has the upright form of a Japanese Aurelia. So really love the look of this plant. I had the variegated form, but unfortunately with the Dallas winter storms, I just didn't get enough time or space to overwinter it and bring it indoors, so it went to plant heaven. And, you know, for me, in hindsight, a lot of the plants that I wasn't able to save during the winter storm, I mean, it just snowed out, and I just really don't have the space in my home to carry all of those coleus plants and all of the other plants that I was growing outside. It was just a reminder for me that if you're having to like grow plants outside with the intent of having to bring them inside and you don't have the space, then that means that you have too many plants in your plant collection. And for me, after downsizing my plants, I was actually able to give some of my plants to my best friend Isaac, who also has a YouTube channel, Hi JR Sings. He actually takes a lot of my plants and rescues them because, number one, I don't always want to just compost a plant, and number two, he has been good at rehabbing the plants. So if you've ever watched my video where I interview my friend Isaac, definitely check it out on the channel. And that's the thing, as far as like all of these plants that we're looking at today, you can just see that Costa Farms is readily available in terms of producing these exotic angel plants, like this Palea plant, this aluminum plant. I love the look of this plant. I've had this plant before. The only thing about Palea plants is that they require quite a bit of water, or at least staying consistent with the soil being moist. Unfortunately for me, and everybody knows this who's been watching my YouTube channel, I don't really water my plants consistently. So I have to find another way to be able to sustainably grow my plants in my houseplant collection. I have discovered semi-hydroponic substrates such as Pon and Leca. And for me, if I'm gonna buy another Palea plant like this, I would have to transfer it into semi-hydro, because then I don't have to really water the plant as often as possible, because it already has a water reservoir. All I have to do is fill up the water reservoir maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, and it pretty much takes care of itself. Now, I have been told that folks that have used like self-watering planters, that some of their plants just end up going to plant heaven. I would say self-watering planters with soil substrates isn't always the best combination. I'm talking about whether you've converted a plant like this Peperomia obtusifolia into like Leca or Lechuza Pond. And for those that are not sure sure about converting plants to semi-hydroponics, definitely check out my plant chores video where I took several aglaonema that I got for a very good price while going plant shopping at a local nursery called Calloway's, and I put them in leca. I go through the entire process in full detail, and I really recommend people at least considering growing plants in leca. It is pretty cost effective as compared to like the lechuza pond, and you can get it either on Amazon, or if there is an IKEA where you live, you can also get leca. Now, as far as like neon pothos, $15.84 in a 6-inch hanging basket. I love it. This is one of my favorite pothos plants. It's very durable. It's fast growing. You already know the drill. As far as like the neon colored plants, you want to make sure, plant foldies, that you are really giving it a lot of light. And what I've also noticed about the neon pothos plant is it does tolerate not being watered nearly as much as, say, like the Enjoy pothos, the Pearls and Jade pothos, the Global Green pothos. The smaller leaf varieties of pothos plants are not as water drought tolerant versus like the neon pothos. So I would highly recommend that. Now, this lemon button fern in an 8-inch planter is for $19.84. And if you're going to tell me which place to go shopping for houseplants to get some of the most cost-effective plant pricing, I can't talk today, plant pricing, and if you're really on a budget or you're watching your finances, I would definitely recommend Walmart, especially now in the DFW market where a lot of the Walmarts are getting restocked. Now, I will say with the snowstorm that just happened recently, I am concerned about any plant restocks. I know that there are a couple of Walmarts that I visited where some of the plants were just not in the best condition because they probably traveled through some of that really cold weather, in terms of some of the plants that I'm getting in the mail. So we did another overseas order at Green Spaces ID for some more uncommon aglaonema. Me and my good friend Steven of I Live Plants were on the Green Spaces ID live selling, and we happened to win some free plants. We've got some free anthuriums. I got a free Philodendron Florida Beauty. He got a really nice Hoya, and then we ended up just putting another order in. So I'm curious to see how my my import from Green Spaces ID will actually arrive in the next couple of weeks. Give it another 2 to 3 weeks and I should have another unboxing video of Green Spaces ID. And that to me is another alternative to just going big box store plant shopping. Yes, big box store plant shopping is more readily available. You're probably going to save a lot more money than ordering online, but if you are somebody that wants to get a little bit more uncommon plants, get a little bit more spice in your plant collection, especially if you love aglaonema, I would highly recommend going to greenspaces.id's website or following them on Instagram to get some overseas plants. If you live in the United States, you don't necessarily have to have an import license because they do have a broker that they that actually imports the plants. And once the plants are successfully imported into the United States, they end up sending the plants directly to your doorstep. And I've had multiple instances where I have had very successful plant hauls from Green Spaces ID. So I kind of sound like I'm really just promoting them, but I really do stand behind Green Spaces ID in the fact that they've got great customer service. If you're looking for plants that are a little bit more exotic than the ones that we're looking at Walmart, specifically aglaonema, and can you tell that I just really want to plant influence everybody about aglaonemas, definitely check out Green Spaces ID. And also, if you're going to put it in an order, you can message me on Instagram. I could put a group chat with me and Green Spaces ID to get you the best plant pricing. As far as using my promo code, use my promo code GROWFOLDS20. That is one word, for 20% off your entire purchase. So let me get off of this little commercial about Green Spaces ID and get back to the plants right here. You can see right here, golden pothos or Epipremnum aureum golden pothos, $10.97. And I really do like the look of these hanging baskets by Garden Expert. All of these pothos plants are actually sourced out by Costa Farms, but For $10.97 in a hanging basket, that's a really good price. Probably the most inexpensive plant pricing for the golden pothos in a hanging basket, 6-inch hanging basket. But beautiful plant, very vigorous a grower, especially once it's established. It's going to grow pretty fast. If you water it consistently, it also will do well. Like obviously not over water it, but like let the soil either dry out completely and immediately water it. I would also say when it comes to like the golden pothos or pothos plants in general, you can micro dose them with fertilizer, as in putting just a trace amount of some fertilizer in each watering, and they will still do well. They respond to being fertilized a little bit more frequently than other plants. And when I say frequently, it does not mean that you're giving them the full dose of fertilizer. I'm just saying giving them micro dose fertilizer. And that's the thing about growing house plants. You really have to like adjust to how you want to fertilize your plants, how often you water them, because I can, give you suggestions about, waiting till the soil dries out completely for certain plants. However, maybe your conditions in your home might end up, drying your plants up a little bit more so than typically other plant collections. So I would just say learn your plant and how it responds to how frequent you're watering them. Learn your plant in terms of like lighting conditions. If you feel like that plant is not doing as well in a certain lighting condition, move it to another space in your home and eventually you'll make some adjustments. I did want to talk about the Hoya Chelsea as well. So these are hanging baskets for $19.84, and this is an 8-inch hanging basket. So that's a pretty large size plant. Hoya Chelsea is another Hoya that was really sought after a couple years back. I do think that it's still one of the more popular Hoya varieties. I think everybody is a fan of Hoya Chelsea. I love it for the leaf shape, but I also love it for the fact that it has that green foliage. And if you'll notice, I am featuring a lot of green plants because for the past week, I have literally been talking about trying to get green plants to be the trending plant for 2025. They always talk about plants that are going to become popular. They're going to become the it plant. Everybody needs that plant. I want to just continue to utilize this social platform to perhaps influence others to become more aware about just the green plants. I did read a very profound comment by one of the plant foldies where they mentioned that the reason why green plants or basic plants don't need the hype is because they've already been readily available and people don't need to be sold on them because people regardless will buy the green plants. Totally get that comment, and I 100% agree. The only thing I would like to see is more people really getting excited on social media and posting the golden pothos. Like, can we not get excited about the golden pothos? To me, growing a gorgeous and lush golden pothos like this is just as successful as somebody who may have been able to grow a really nice size Monstera albo or some variegated plant. It really depends on how you frame success when it comes to plant collections. To me, I think my definition of successful plant, growing a plant collection is if I'm able to just enjoy the new growth from a specific plant, or if I'm able to propagate a plant successfully and give it to somebody else to bring them joy. That's really a lot of the successes for me. And then overall, like I had mentioned about Benji plants, for instance, if you ever watch how curated his plants are, how his interior space balances the plants, that's really also another definition of success for me, is when I'm able to just step back, look at something like this, right? This lipstick plant. And if it's hanging in my interior space and it has that nice zen balance, that to me is a definition of successfully growing a plant collection. And I know that I'm giving you guys a lot of plant insights. I just tend to be a little bit chatty sometimes, especially with all of these big box store plants, because I can go on and tell you the same plant care tips about these plants, like this Philodendron heteroecium. The crazy thing is I pretty much have all of the plant pricing memorized. This one is for $15.98. But I also find it more exciting to be able to just talk to you directly. For those that are seeking some companionship, or just a support system, or just a fun community of plant lovers, this is definitely the channel where you're going to hear me talk to you. So if you're doing your plant chores, if you are just hanging around the house and you just want to hear somewhat of like a plant podcast that's a solo, you can definitely listen to me talk all day. I promise you, I will continue to make this type of content. You can even watch my marathons or my compilations of plants. So if you want to just look at plants, if you want to mute me because you feel like I'm just talking through too much about the plants, you can do however you want to utilize this plant content. But I will say, it is very exciting to see that there has been quite a bit of engagement from a lot of the plant foldies, and I cannot thank you guys enough and appreciate you so much for just continuing to go and watch my plant YouTube channel. And you can see right here, look at this. This is a silver streak pothos, and normally it is $19.84 as a trending tropical plant. But take a look at this. This is a garden export plant for $9.97. I am definitely going to purchase this plant at some point. I do feel like this plant is going to get restocked. So you know how there is a term where it's a want or a need. Right now, this plant is a want where I can literally hold off from purchasing it. It is one of those wish list plants. It hasn't become a need where I have to buy the plant today, just like we say on Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast, just because I feel like the silver streak pothos is going to be available at some point when I am back at this Walmart. I mean, I did visit this Walmart multiple times already, and it doesn't look like it's moved a lot. And that's another thing about going big box store plant shopping. Most people will go to a big box store like Walmart, for instance, specifically Walmart, I feel like, and they will overlook some of these more uncommon and rare plants. Like for me, whenever I see another restock of, say, an Alocasia silver dragon, love the look of the plant, right? And especially when it's a fresh restock, when the big box store just has restocked it, I get super excited. But then I'll also see people going into this like garden section right here and just overlook some of these more uncommon plants to buy, like, I don't know, a planter, maybe a rake, or some type of like, you know, garden supply. It's just me. And, you know, if you ever see me out and about, I sometimes think I look super silly. Like if you were to watch me like film these plants, I'm literally just going around with my phone, filming these plants, pulling them up, putting them back on the shelves. I'm pretty sure some of these regular people that are just shopping at a big box store might just find me a little bit silly. It is interesting though that I've run into some plant foldies and y'all have been able to recognize me even though I have gone faceless on YouTube. And I will say, with my personal plant collection, and wait till I do the home tour, you will definitely see a lot more of me. Now that was just a short clip of the big box store plant shopping. Now we're gonna go local nursery plant shopping at Calloway's nursery out in Prosper, Texas. So this was just a late afternoon visit where I just wanted to see what plants they had right after the holiday season. You know, this is the first week of January. So I was curious to see if Calloway's nursery, which is a local chain of nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I would consider this kind of like the big box store, but not really big box store, local nursery chain in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They have so many different types of plants, ranging from indoor tropical plants to outdoor gardening to herbs to succulents and cactus. They have a huge selection of plants, and I'm actually impressed in the fact that the holiday season, they got rid of most of their poinsettias and their croton plants and their Christmas trees and have been able to restock with a bunch of these tropical plants. So we're going to go take a look at some of the plants that they have already available. Hopefully I will keep your attention and engagement, because I know that some people might just be into the big box stores, but I urge everybody to really watch the very end of this video so you can see how gorgeous some of these local nursery plants are, especially Calloway's nursery. And if you're ever going to visit the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there are so many locations of Callaway's Nursery. I would highly recommend them just because the plants you see in this video, I'm pretty sure you will find at another local Callaway's Nursery. So if you're going to visit Dallas, definitely put Callaway's Nursery or at least one of the chains to check out, because this Philodendron Rojo Congo, for instance, look at how large it is. Guess how much it costs. It is only for $35, and this is in a 12-inch, not a 10-inch, 12-inch planter. And I love the fact that Philodendron Rojo Congo, while it might be considered a common philodendron, look at those red stems and just look at how gorgeous the leaves are. Like, I would be tempted to purchase that Philodendron Rojo Congo because the price is right. So while some people might assume that big box stores are always going to be the end all be all in terms of like saving money because they're going to have the most inexpensive prices, I beg to differ, because even Callaway's Nursery has some really good plant pricing. This one right here is for $16.99. This is a juvenile form of a Monstera deliciosa, and can I tell you that I am on the Monstera deliciosa kick? Like, I want to continue to grow my Monstera deliciosas into large form sizes because they structurally look very classy. And I'm going to spin around here, and as you can see, it is a late afternoon when I filmed this shopping video. You can see that the sunlight is gorgeous, and it just really illuminates these plants to where they are just glowing. Like this umbrella plant, this Schefflera amate, beautiful plant as well. And I do regret losing my variegated Schefflera plant over the winter storm. It ended up just being outside, and it pretty much froze itself to plant heaven. And you know, that's just really a sign where I probably just had way too many plants to take care of. I always go through these cycles where like I downsize my plants and then I end up purchasing more plants. So, you know, as far as this year, again, plant foldies, it is a learning process. It is a learning process to have restraint, because like, for instance, this one right here, I love this Ficus altissima, and this is only for $29.99 in an 8-inch planter. But look at the structure of it. So this is more of a curated like prune version, and it looks more like a tree versus just one big stalk. I honestly wanted to buy this plant as well because look at how gorgeous it is. Look at how compact it is. I love that green on green variegation, but then I also told myself I have already a lot of plants in my living room. I finally got my plant room together. I may eventually get this plant, but for me, in order for me to like add plants like this into my plant collection, I have to like get rid of, and I don't even want to say get rid of, I have to find a way to resource the plant to another home in order for me to bring plants. Because what happens is whenever we go plant shopping, and I'll tell you, Callaway's, I mean, look at this. So many gorgeous plants. This one's for $29.99 as well. This is the Ficus elastica taniki. You are just tempted to buy plants. Whenever a store has like healthy looking plants, a big selection, the natural inclination is for us to buy plants. Like, I don't know if you plant foldies ever just go out and see plants and then like didn't have the intention to buy plants, but ended up buying plants on an impulse buy because the plants look really good. I'm trying hard not to buy plants early this year because I have a couple of big expenses that are going to happen. Number one, I'm going to be going to PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida, February 22nd, and I've already pre-ordered a bunch of Aglaonema from Indonesia. I ended up sourcing it from my friend Ricky of Art Garden Flowers, just because I felt like he would be able to get me some fair pricing. So that already is going to be a big financial like investment. I say investment loosely because whenever I buy plants, I try to consider them investments in a sense that they are really good for my mental health. They bring me joy, and I'm able to actually share my passion for all of these plants. But as you can see right over here again, plant foldies, Ficus elastica taniki, $29.99. You can see we've got a bunch of chimeneas here as well, and also look at these Croton petras. Crotons, they tend to appear in the months of October, November as seasonal fall plants. Obviously, these are not fall plants in a sense that these are native to a Southeast Asian country like the Philippines, for instance, where they just grow out in full sun. And this plant is really challenging to grow indoors. Crotons in general need a lot of light. They need either full sun or a lot of bright light. They don't like to be in cold climates. They also don't like to not be watered consistently. Otherwise, they will drop their leaves, and that's pretty much it. A lot of the crotons are typically, you know, not everybody's always a fan of crotons is what I'm trying to say, but I love them because they have some beautiful colors. And then as I pan around here, you can see that there is another croton, and I'm just going to walk around and show you what else you can get at Calloway's Nursery out in Prosper, Texas.
Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove.
You can see that there were some gorgeous crotons, but take a look at this Ficus lyrata tree right here. This one is for $99, and to me that is not a bad price at all, considering it's pretty much a miniature tree that you can put in your plant collection. The thing about it is, I would love to get a Ficus lyrata this size, but something that this is like, I think 6 feet, maybe 7 feet tall. I wouldn't be able to put it in my space because my home doesn't really have tall ceilings. Like, I think this type of plant is going to really require a home that has really tall ceilings. It is a gorgeous plant. And again, you'll notice that the Ficus lyrata has just green foliage. I will say that this plant about 4 to 5 years ago was really the it plant. Every single home wanted that as a interior design type of plant, and I don't disagree. It is a gorgeous plant structurally. Same thing with this Philodendron Summer Glory. So if you notice, the Philodendron Summer Glory has a natural shine to it. It's got a nice satin finish, and take a look at this. This is a 12-inch planter, and guess how much it costs? Let's take a look at it. Plant foldies, and you can see right here it is only $34.99. $35 for an already established Philodendron Summer Glory. So here is another example, another proof that not always big box stores will have the most cost-effective pricing. To me, $35 for a gorgeous Philodendron Summer Glory, that is a steal. That is something that I would love to add to my plant collection. But again, whenever you're looking at really large foliage plants, you have to look at your space, but this would be such a great statement piece plant. It is an underrated philodendron, I would say. I don't think a lot of people are really collecting the Philodendron Summer Glory, but to me, it is a performer. It's done very well for me, and I actually have 2, and they've done very well for me. Now, this Calloway's Nursery has some more, I guess, showpiece plants. They're not always for sale. You can see right here, this is a variegated Alocasia frydek. I have a variegated Alocasia frydek that's growing in Lechuza Pond, and it's still establishing. I do feel like whenever you move a certain plant to a specific substrate, whether it's moving it from soil to leca to from soil to water, from soil to Lechuza Pond, there is an acclimation period. So I'm hoping that I can get the roots and the plant to really establish in its substrate. And then you can see right here, this is a variegated Violin, Philodendron Violin, beautiful one. I love that it's got the elbow variegation, and you can see I'm not 100% sure what that particular plant ID is for what type of philodendron it is, but it looks like they have got these philodendron to climb up a moss pole or a totem pole. You can see that as these plants grow up these poles, they get larger and more mature leaves. You can see over here, this is an Epipremnum pinnatum. I'm thinking maybe a yellow flame. It's just not nearly as variegated, but look at how gorgeous the leaves are. Obviously, these are the mature forms of the leaves, and you can see that it is tied on this totem pole. And that's the thing about these houseplants. The majority of them do want to climb up a pole because in nature, these plants actually climb up trees, and that's how they get their aerial roots to attach and grow. Monstera Thai Constellation. This one is a highly variegated one. It almost looks like a Monstera Thai Constellation mutation. This one is not for sale, but this is an example of how gorgeous variegation can be on a Monstera Thai Constellation. And as we go to like Walmart and we're able to find some of the smaller Monstera Thai Constellations for $27.97, you can see the potential of what it looks like when it actually matures and gets large. Love that. And it's one of those plants that I definitely would recommend, especially for somebody that wants a variegated plant that has stable variegation. I will say with the Monstera Thai Constellation, you may be able to push out even more variegation by giving it more bright indirect light. So if you're able to grow it under a grow light, maybe it'll push out more sectoral variegation. But needless to say, that Monstera Thai Constellation that's growing as a showpiece at Calloway's Nursery here in Prosper, Texas, it is absolutely stunning. I would love to add it to my collection because even my mature version doesn't really have as high variegation as this. What a gorgeous plant. Again, with Monstera Thai Constellations, you don't want to really overwater it. You want to make sure the soil dries out completely before you water it again. Now, Monstera Esqueleto, it's like a large form of a Monstera adansonii. Beautiful plant. Look at how large the leaves are. That would be another wish list plant to buy. And for what I've been told, it's a pretty vigorous and easy to care for plant. It definitely needs a moss pole or some type of pole for it to attach to in order for the leaves to really get large. And we're just going to keep walking around here and looking at these beautiful plants. Plant foldies. Now we're going to be taking a look at some of these large form dracaenas. It looks like they've got a restock, and look at how gorgeous that neon color is for these dracaenas. Again, dracaenas are plants that I would highly recommend. They're easy to care for plants. These are plants that every single plant lover should add to their plant collection. You can see this one is for $16.99. Really love the look of this one as well. This is the Dracaena Lemon Lime. Gorgeous plant, and it's another plant that can get fairly large. What I love about it is these the foliage on these dracaenas, for instance, this one is a lemon surprise for $16.99, is this plant can actually retain its color even in darker spaces. Dracaenas are low light tolerant and they're drought tolerant, so you don't have to water them nearly as much. They can go into a more dark corner of space and they can still light up an area, especially the ones with that neon coloration. So I wouldn't mind buying Dracaena from Calloway's Nursery because they're definitely larger than the Costa Farms Exotic Angels that they have. And so if you're looking for a more instant gratification, if you're looking for plants that are a little bit larger than what you might see at a big box store, I would recommend going local nursery plant shopping, supporting small businesses, because they can actually source out plants that look like this. And you can see there is the green form right over here. This one is another Dracaena, and this one is called the Dracaena Twister, and this one is for $16.99. It looks like there are two plants in this 6-inch planter. Love that as well. So we're going to keep looking at all of the other Dracaenas and other plants they have at Calloway's. here's another example of a beautiful just green foliage plant. Let's go ahead and get this trending because it is a plant that's super easy. Now look at how gorgeous this Dieffenbachia is. This one is for $16.99 in a 6-inch planter. I don't know the specific Dieffenbachia plant ID. What I do know about Dieffenbachia is, as far as like the care tips for it, bright light, lots and lots of light. Make sure that you are staying on top of the plant pest preventative spray. So spray it with neem oil, spray it with insecticidal soap a little bit more frequently, because Dieffenbachia tend to be a little bit more spider mite prone. They will get leggy if you don't get enough light, and if you're able to provide them with a little bit more humidity, they should do fine. Now, as far as me growing a Dieffenbachia indoors, they just haven't done well for me, so I'm kind of holding off from growing Dieffenbachia, even though they are gorgeous plants. Another tidbit I would say about Dieffenbachia is that they are not pet friendly, in the sense that if, say, a cat bites into their leaves, these leaves are highly toxic. So just, caution with that. But I mean, as far as this Dieffenbachia right here, like the Dieffenbachia they have available at Calloway's, like look at this one. I wish I knew the plant ID for this Dieffenbachia, and it's gorgeous to see the late afternoon sun just hit that. That lighting is just so perfect for this Dieffenbachia. $16.99. And for the plant folies that have made it this far into the video, thank you for tuning in this far already. Please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up button or the like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And if you do feel like you want to support me by providing me a monetary tip via super sticker or super thanks, you are more than welcome to. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, and it helps support like my my funds in terms of just gas money, and even just the supplies I utilize to be able to buy some of these plants and to get some of my tutorial videos up. So definitely check that out. And I did want to say thank you to all of those that have contributed to me by sending me a super sticker or super thanks. Like I said, again, do not feel inclined to do so. It's only if you are able to, because I know that everybody's finances, especially at the very beginning of the new year, might be a little tight. As far as this Aglaonema, this is an Aglaonema Romeo, and I love the look of this Aglaonema. This will be coming home with me today because it is only $16.99. And when you talk about plants that are wants and needs, that Aglaonema is definitely a need today. So I ended up buying this Aglaonema Romeo. They have an Aglaonema Juliet. The Juliet, if you look at it from the left, the Juliet has a little bit smaller leaves, more narrow leaves, versus the Romeo where it's larger leaves. I love the silver foliage of this plant. There are other Aglaonema that are available here, but for $16.99, look at how large that Aglaonema is. It is gorgeous. It would be one that I'm definitely going to add to my plant collection. And mind you, this large foliage Aglaonema, even though it's got that greenish silvery form, it is still a gorgeous plant, even if it's not like a variegated philodendron or variegated monstera. $16.99 is an awesome price for this. So I am definitely going to pick up one of those, and I believe I'm going to go ahead and get another Aglaonema as well. We're going to take a look at this one. This is the Aglaonema Silverado, and if you notice, this is another one that you typically wouldn't see out and about, even at a big box store. Maybe you might find it at Home Depot, but look at that silver foliage as well. So you can see that this Aglaonema, this is the Aglaonema Romeo. I would definitely buy that, and I'm also going to buy the Aglaonema Silverado. I just have a very soft spot when it comes to Aglaonema, and it's because they're so easy to take care of. Now, as far as these two plants, these are actually, I believe, in 8-inch planters. I am not going to go convert them to semi-hydro because they're already established in their soil. And you can see this is another type of Aglaonema. I'm not 100% sure what the plant ID is for this one, but this one is for $34.99 in a 10-inch planter. And that's the thing though, sometimes when you compare Aglaonema pricing, you'll get the better deal when you buy it from Calloway's. And you can see right here, that is the classic Aglaonema Silver Bay. If you don't have an Aglaonema Silver Bay plant foldies, go ahead and buy yourself one. Go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, go to Walmart, get yourself an Aglaonema Silver Bay for $24.98. So it's a good plant. And then I'm just gonna walk over here and kind of show you some more of these plants. You can see we've got some Sansevieria here, and I will say I will be doing a collaboration video with Succulents Asia. Definitely follow them on Instagram. They're an Indonesian succulent nursery, and they're sending me 6 really ultra rare Sansevieria plants. So look out for that unboxing. I really appreciate the fact that they're sending me free plants to do a review, and I will definitely show you that plant haul for sure. But let's just keep looking at the plants. You can see that they do have some more Monstera Thai Constellations. If you notice the Monstera Thai Constellation earlier from this video, it's more highly variegated than this one, but it's still a beautiful plant regardless. And take a look at this Philodendron Pink Princess. This one's not nearly as variegated, and I would say if you're gonna look for something like this, I would definitely just buy the ones from Growers Bench at Walmart. And then you can see right here, we've got another type of philodendron. I don't know what the specific plant ID is for this one, but you can see that it's not a bad price at all. And then they also have philodendron starters. So this one is a philodendron golden crocodile, and it is only for $6.99. So you can see that it's in its juvenile form. So if you want a small starter plant, these plants will still grow pretty fast. This one is a philodendron ring of fire for $6.99. So you can see these are in 2-inch starter planters. What I would do if I were to buy these plants, this one is a philodendron painted lady. I would just go ahead and put them in semi-hydro, and you can see this is a philodendron pink princess starter plant in a 2-inch planter for only $6.99. So as far as Calloway's nursery, hands down, if you want some good plants, if you're going to go shopping for plants and you still want some fair plant pricing, definitely shop at Calloway's nursery if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you are traveling from out of town, this is definitely a nursery chain that I would definitely recommend visiting and getting plants from, because they have a wide variety of indoor tropical plants. And if you're looking for herbs, vegetables, any type of plant, they have it readily available. And I just wanted to go ahead and spend the last part of this video showing you the gorgeous hanging baskets of Epipremnum aurea, or what you call pothos plants. You can see the golden pothos are 50% off these hanging baskets. So those are ending up to be like $12. And you can see, look at the neon pothos. So when you compare that neon pothos versus the golden pothos, that one has a little bit more pizzazz. And then check this out. This is only a $6.99 for a 4-inch planter of Scindapsus trubii Moonlight. And so I don't have a Scindapsus trubii Moonlight. I know that Costa Farms offers them in 6-inch planters for $19.84, but why do that when you can buy a 6-inch planter as well at Calloway's nursery for only $16.99? So again, that is another example of sometimes big box stores not always having the most cost-effective pricing. Definitely check out local nurseries to see if you can get it. And look at this beautiful variegated Hoya carrii. That one is for $34.99, and you can see this is a Hoya macrophyllum for $34.99. So if you are a Hoya head or somebody that loves Hoyas, definitely check out your local nurseries. I do have Hoyas in my plant collection, and typically it's because Hoyas are very much forgiving plants. Like I said, again, I don't really water my plants as often as possible, but they are very drought tolerant as well. So plant foldies, I hope you've enjoyed these plant shopping videos that I've been producing. I'm really excited that I've been able to get a new video up every single day for the last week. So I'm back on routine. I know that I probably gave you guys a lot of plant insights. Hopefully you didn't click away from the video, but you already know I enjoy talking to you guys directly. Please hit the like button for this video if you enjoyed it today, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Growfolds with all the notification bell on. That way you are always in tune whenever I premiere a video. This is Richie. I'll see you tomorrow.